My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today, from the House of Mind Games, I am reviewing ADOUBE. The spiel is, it begins with a whisper of warning. An intriguing sensation engulfs us in the opening of pomegranate fragrance as a wave of tantalizing sweetness. I'm not going to read this. They've obviously got somebody working with them who's really good at marketing. It's an evolution towards bold and deep base of leather, patchouli, and amberstar brings focus to chaos while remaining wholly spontaneous and free. Okay, this is $395 for 100ml. Do we have our bottles of ADOUBE by Mind Games? Are we engaged with our higher self? Let's get testing. So what is the cap going to be like? One thing I've noticed on the white box, it had these two stickers. It's a mark here, but on the now it doesn't have the two little stickers to hold it in place. So this one's a little hat, a little castle hat. So let's have a look at the atomizer. So let's apply the fragrance and see what we think. So I'm going to explain what amberstar is. The amberstar is a captive raw material. As I've said before, if you get a fragrance made, they use this raw material, but you suppose you can't buy it. But I managed to buy it. It's very, very expensive. It's probably one of the most expensive raw materials. It's in the ambergris family, and within the ambergris family of raw materials, now some people hate these raw materials. I was speaking to a perfumer, and he said some people hate the ambergris family, and they're so sensitive to it, and they said they detect it as sulfuric acid or ammonia, or they just really hate it and it gives them a headache. It's a massive classification in fragrance because either you like it or you don't like it. I really love this classification of raw material. It's really vast. They're very expensive as well, and they tend to be very powerful. And you have ambroxan. Isosuper can be in this family. I've heard it called ambergris ketone, but I don't think Isosuper is in this family at all, really. Isosuper, obviously, ambroxan, amber core, amber max, amber extreme, amber senside. You start going down. Then you go into the musk, which is Z11P, which works on the trilingual nerve in the nose. Apparently, I'm not sensitive to Z11P at all, but some people are so sensitive to it. That's a very expensive raw material. And then you have limonol. There's loads. It just goes on, as you can see, it just goes on and on and on. Anyway, so amberstar is used to give an explosion of amber. It's very, very unappealing when you smell it. It's one of the most sulfuric acid, chlorine smelling, and from that I can really smell what people mean when they don't like it. It's got that sort of chlorine, sulfuric acid smell to it. But in fragrances, if you know what you're doing with these type of raw materials, it's really nice. It's just very, very lovely. It's very strong. Apparently it lasts for 4 days on the skin. They give you these things when you get raw materials when it says how long it lasts on blood or how long it lasts on skin. I'm not sure about that because I've never had anything last more than a day because I shower twice a day, so I don't know how they test that. Maybe on a gloss, but on skin, I don't know. So it's one of these raw materials that I think of the geometry of it as an upside down triangle, but you put it on and then it expands out and it gets very strong, and it's very diffusive. Use it at very low concentrations. Anyway, so that's what they're saying when they said that. It's in the same category as all the ambers, as I mentioned, similar to Amber Extreme, but Amber Extreme on steroids. Quite unpleasant when you smell it. It smells very chemical, but you got to balance it. You got to really know what you're doing with it. Otherwise it's, not great at all. So this fragrance is, I would consider it a rose-based fragrance. It's given me lots of rose and citrus and ambroxan and musk. When I smelt it, I kind of read all that spiel. I thought, oh, this is giving me like a raspberry amber rose fragrance, utilizing a raw material called general acetate and neryl acetate. They're the two. I think of them exactly the same. Actually, they're not, but I kind of think of them as like cousins. They're completely different, but I tend to work with them at the same time. I don't like general acetate at high percentages within the formula. I really don't like it. I think it smells very synthetic, and it kind of smells like geranium, but dry and tannin-like. It's giving that sort of feel with it, and it's used within rose-based formulas to give that sort of lift to it. I don't like general acetate that high up in a formula. Personally speaking, I think there's much nicer ways to give lift and volume within the formula. This is, it's got a lot of rose aroma chemicals, and phenol ether alcohol is the constituent of rose. And some people say it smells of fish, which I find really bizarre. So I just think it smells of rose. And this is the thing with raw materials. When you go up to a percentage, it can smell a rose, let's say, and let's say you go over a percentage, you can smell a fish, or it just becomes really unappealing. I don't really think of it as fish. I think of it as just smelling like of an air freshener, rose air freshener that you would apply, in the car when you get it washed. I think they're gross. It's very fruity. It could be plum, rose, raspberry, rhubarb, kind of that direction. It feels a little bit like a candle or one of those things with the reed diffusers, and that's because the aroma chemicals are quite apparent. I've always said before that my favorite type of perfumery, and it's what I really love, which is when you get a third really, really good quality naturals and 2/3 aroma chemicals. That's my favorite. I think naturals should always be the show. And I think when you flip over to it being more aroma chemicals, I think you get this sort of finish on it, and it smells very artificial, which is fine. But for me, it's kind of not great. So as we're talking about mandarin, I'm going to show you 3 types of mandarin. So these are actually how you get raw materials presented to you. This sort of size for citruses. And then for the very, very expensive absolutes, this size, and this is jasmine absolute. So you can sort of tell the difference in sort of price. So we have green, yellow, and red mandarin. Mandarin is my least favorite citrus, actually, because it has a slight antiseptic terpenal quality to it, which I don't like. I've never liked it, but that sort of pulpy quality works really well with woods, I've always found. So I do work with it with wood-based compounds. I balance it in different ways, but I don't like that terpenal quality. Green mandarin is the first harvest of the fruit, and it's unripened. Yellow is just before it's ready to be harvested, and the red, it's a beautiful color when it's the fruits are harvested, when they're ready, when they're ripe. So the green has more of that antiseptic terpenal quality. It's more green, which I really don't like. Yellow is right in the middle, less, and then orange is the least amount of that pulpy antiseptic quality and sort of more sweeter. I prefer this because I personally don't like working with this, but I may get this if I was to do something with really herbaceous, and I would go more with that, but there would be a lot of like vetiver and patchouli and woods, and it would complement that actually. So I thought I'd show you that. The price goes up, obviously. So when you get the red, the price is more than the green and the yellow, slightly, but it's enough. So back to the fragrance. On to my final thoughts. I'm not really wowed. I've got to say, this smells, in my opinion, of course, I'm not saying statements and things, but in my opinion, which is what you will come here for, this feels very artificial. It feels kind of more like a reed diffuser, that sort of thing. And I feel really disappointed because I bought 9, 10 of them, right? And I was really excited because it was saying it's Simrise, it was saying it's this, that, and the other. And I think the marketing is really got you on the hook here. And I feel disappointed because I spent a lot of money on these fragrances, and I don't know, I just feel uninspired. I don't feel particularly amazed. It's Simrise, they could have done something amazing. I kind of feel disappointed with that. I really feel that they should have let the perfumer let go, and they should have, if that was me, I would have gone to the perfumer and I would have said, what can you create me? And I would have been perfumer led rather than marketing led. And this is obviously a really marketing led brand because the spiel behind it is amazing. I mean, it hooks you in. I think the price is a little bit over the top. I think the packaging's all right, the atomizer's all right, and it's all right. I'm not really been wowed, not really been dazzled, hasn't really got the X factor, hasn't really got kind of anything. And I feel disappointed, very uninspired. And I give this a 7. And I don't think I'm going to review the rest of the range. Actually, to be honest with you, I've just always want to review things that are positive. And in this aspect, the 3 that I've tried have all been a bit really disappointing, actually, in the same. And very nice perfumery, but nothing to dazzle or wow me, to be honest. Please leave your comments below what you think. For this amount of money, I really want substantial nature and volume. And each of the 3 fragrances have been lacking in kind of all of it, and not really wowed me either, which is very sad. So love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for fascinating, interesting content, lots of moving hands, and lots of fragrance views. Hope you're staying safe and well. See you soon.